Trump is bad, the narrative is Trump is bad, and therefore we're going to downplay any good he does and then highlight only the bad things he does. The Middle East is the opposite of Las Vegas. What happens in the Middle East doesn't stay in the Middle East. It's not, authoritarianism is not cool. Civil war is not cool. And really, other than spending all their time bashing America and bashing how terrible life is, maybe they should work to improve it.
Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is Yeonmi Park. I'm a North Korean de facto human rights activist. Today in this video, I have a very interesting guest. He's my long friend from Iraq. His name is Faisal Al Mutar. What is America's lacking? This media is like cut out all this complexity and always claim something as one is the truth, right? In order to know the truth, there are so many different ways they need to combine together. There's not like one newspaper we can go to and this is all truth. I'm gonna read this only from now on.
Yeah. I mean, just being. For example, like let's at least from like Middle East, just read our Middle East analysis. Is that I am like just knowing also the political biases of these news media channels is like it's a prerequisite to before you even know the truth. So you know like when it was the Obama administration, Fox is going to have an opinion and NBC is going to have a completely different opinion, right?
Yeah.
And just knowing these, and when it's the opposite, it's the other way around. Even though now Fox is not considered is being attacked these days, but I think is that just knowing these. So, for example, when the kind of the latest deal between the Israel and the UAE, which is the peace accord that was signed and all of that stuff, you see that because it was under Trump administration or under right-wing administration, most of the mainstream or left-leaning media were not happy about the thing, and they tried to downplay. So in a way, this is like a historic deal, and it's like the fact that the UAE, it's where Dubai is located, is a center for trade, a center for media, and it's a very important country. Yes, it's a small country, but it's a very important country. And the fact that it signed a deal with Israel, it's a big deal. And however, like I was saying, like the scene kind of when left-wing commentating, all of that stuff, were just bashing the hell out of the deal or trying to find, but Israel and the UAE were never at war, so there is no peace deal between. No, I mean, it's symbolic. Oh, come on, like you don't understand symbolic language now. And the same, like, so just knowing that is is like, yes, when obviously the left-wing media, however, is like when Qasem Soleimani was killed, that's one of the Iranian generals that was killed by the Trump administration. I mean, this guy was a terrorist.
Yeah.
He is responsible for the killing of not just American soldiers, but really killing of organizing militias and death squads to kill many human rights activists and many freedom fighters and dissidents and all of that stuff. And the natural response to the killing of this guy was not necessarily to celebrate the death, but really acknowledge that the world is a better place because we have the leader of the death squad running around on the streets of Baghdad. However, the response was hysterical about the fact that, oh, no, that's wrong. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we should. However, when Obama killed Osama bin Laden, who's also another terrorist, the media was celebrating that.
Yeah.
Look at the amazing what Obama is doing, even though from just purely logistical sense, when Osama bin Laden was killed, he was already irrelevant. He was already really in his retirement 401k house. He was not an active member of an organization. When Qasem Soleimani was killed, he was a leader and an active leader of a terrorist organization, which means that his killing was actually more blow to this terrorist organization than it was the killing of Osama bin Laden. However, so that's like from pure logistical sense. So in a way, it's like if somebody's interested in world peace or Middle East security and all that stuff, they would value the killing of Qasem Soleimani much more than they would value the killing of Osama bin Laden, because that was merely symbolic, because he was responsible for 9/11 and then he was killed. So that's the good story. However, if you look at the media coverage of that, and you see like really and until today, President Obama was talking about the killing of bin Laden, and he's celebrated by the media of him doing that amazingly historical thing. Well, one of the main leaders of terrorist groups, which is both the leader of ISIS and Qasem Soleimani, were killed by Trump administration, and yet the coverage was barely minimal. And in fact, it was not minimal. It was people downplaying the importance of really killing two active leaders of terrorist groups. And so just knowing these, in a way, it's terrible, right? Like if somebody is like really not interested on these subjects and trying just to read the news and see whatever goes in the news feed, it's because they're going to see whatever is easy to access, and then as a result, they will get these amazingly biased, politicized narratives, and they're not going to get the facts. And so because obviously I care about the subjects, I know what is what, and I know who to reach out to, and what journalists I think are more factual. But it definitely puts like a lot of blame that needs to be made on kind of these mainstream channels to be fact checkers and be pro-truth versus being really a politicized, narrative-based organizations, which is like we have a narrative that we want to push. So if it was like right wing, oh, Trump is good. So anything that he does has to be through the lens of him being good. And then it's like the Trump is bad, the narrative is Trump is bad, and therefore we're gonna downplay any good he does, and then highlight only the bad things he does. So I mean that definitely creates a very polarized society. I mean, I lived in a civil war, so I've seen kind of the end extreme of people really killing each other because of differences of religious differences and political differences. And with America, I mean, it is kind of the polarization and the I wouldn't say it's going to get to a civil war, but however, it does build seeds. Like I know people who hate the other side. Like I know people who hate Republicans, and I know people who hate Democrats. And I think one of the benefits of both of us as immigrants is that we get along. we try to get along with as many people as possible. However, is like I see people literally hating, destroying friendships, not talking to their friends. I mean, Thanksgiving is coming. I know people who are not attending Thanksgiving because their uncle has a I don't want to go see my uncle. He supports this party and he supports this party. I mean, yes, this is not a civil war, but is not good. It's just not good to see families and friendships and this is definitely going to create like a seed, a fertile ground for extremist groups, for militias, for so that's definitely like something that really like I mean Americans have to be aware of because civil war is not cool. Yes, it's not, authoritarianism is not cool. Civil war is not cool, and like really, other than spending all their time bashing America and bashing how terrible life is, maybe they should work to improve it. Because that's I think is and obviously the authoritarians are feeding that narrative. So all of these Russia Today's, GTNs, there's Americans are fighting about race. Let me make a news piece about race and let me stir things up because they know that they can do that. They're free to do that, and they can really benefit. I mean, the weaker America is, the stronger they are. As simple as that. So if more America is busy fighting each other, then China and Russia can expand to the Middle East. They can do whatever they want. Nobody's going to stop them.
Yeah.
And that is really, I think, like part of the mentality of why they want to start divisions here. Because, I mean, I'm sure you get it too. Like I get it sometimes. Like, oh, so Faisal, why do we need to care about the Middle East? We have enough issues here.
Yeah. What do you say about that?
I mean, I start with like, I mean, there is no right response, but generally the thing I believe in, which is really true, is that I say is like the Middle East is the opposite of Las Vegas. What happens in the Middle East doesn't stay in the Middle East.
That's
So,
funny. It's
so
so
so the Middle East is relevant whether you like it or not. It is the center of the world and one of the richest regions of the world, and also the birthplace of most religions that are believed in the world. All the conflicts that exist, whether it's the Syrian civil war or the Iraq civil war, all of that stuff have produced millions of refugees. They migrate to Europe. So really, you should care. Just from personal benefit, you should care, in my opinion.
yeah.
From the other thing, obviously, the other factual argument is no, you don't have the same thing here. Number one, you don't have the same. I remember I was in UC Berkeley of all places,
Mm-hmm.
and I was giving a talk, and I was really like talking about like the rise of ISIS. That was like when ISIS was just rising, and like I'm talking about beheadings and gays being thrown from rooftops and all that stuff. And student came in like and said, Faisal, we have the same thing here.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, what? You have this? I was like I was just having a falafel at Berkeley Avenue or something. What do you have? Like you have gays thrown from the buildings in Berkeley, California?
Yeah.
And she was like, no. What I meant is like, oh, we also have a lot of terrorist groups, and we have Nazis, and I'm like you don't have ISIS like a group like ISIS. Like yes, there are like some attacks of far right extremists, but like but by default it is not. But sorry, like, there's no comparison between an
Yeah.
active militia taking over a full city in, by lived by 4 million people and somebody smoking weed in UC Berkeley thinking that they're being taken over by Nazis. So I think is that like not to downplay that the fact there's also like form of extremism here in the States, but not anyway comparison. So really, I mean, this would be like my main line of defense is that for
Mm.
your personal benefit you should care,
Mhm.
is because this is a region that's I mean I think it's like 60% of the world conflicts that's are in the Middle East. I think that's the UN report. And so, I mean, all these conflicts, I mean, there's now a term called the MENA region, which is the Middle East and North Africa. And North Africa is Morocco, Algeria. They are just across the road from Spain. I mean, Spain is just like you can just take a boat and go to Spain from there. And Libya, same. It's all the Mediterranean states, and also with Syria, it's also on the Mediterranean. It's so just from that perspective, I think you should care.
Mhm.
The I mean, and also like some of the same groups that happen in the Middle East, like ISIS, has also done attacks in Europe. They have also done attacks in the United States. So I mean, so yes, it does matter that we go to the source of where many of these groups are being inspired, and um,
Mhm.
so that's like from purely like international security. But but then obviously there's this crazy argument that's like Berkeley is as bad as ISIS controlled territory, and
Yeah.
it's not. So I think like there is no equivalence, and honestly, I mean I don't really force people to care about my cause, but I mean if people think that I mean what domestic is what they care about is what they care about. They don't need to justify why they care about domestic politics more than international politics. They'll be like, oh, like I live here, so that's what I care about. You don't have to like say, oh, we have bad things in America as well. So like you should not justify this. Like every American citizen has to care about America before they care about the world. That's I think that's pretty reasonable.
Right.
Um, and so I'm not like asking people that, oh, you have to care about my cause, you have to care about the Middle East. No, but you not caring about the Middle East, you don't have to justify not caring about the Middle East by saying the Middle East is US as bad as the Middle East. Like you don't have to. You actually
Right.
can care about America without making this claim that it is as bad over here as over there, which I think is a pretty like wildly crazy. Which is unfortunately is common. It's not. I'm sure you've heard it like multiple times. I think by now probably heard it like maybe 50, 60 times.
Yeah. I hear it every day on my comments here. Literally
Yeah,
every
okay,
day.
so probably I will get it. I'll get it as well. Yes, I've heard it at like conferences from the West Coast to the East Coast, the Midwest to, yeah, very like and all like yeah centered down into, which is like, I mean it doesn't obviously diminish the importance of my work, but
Right.
also it's like one of the things maybe like we a good ending notes, and that's why I don't take so much of your time is, so that's I think what I believe as like a organizer, as somebody who cares about building a movement out freedom and stuff like that. We really don't need to get everybody to agree with us. I mean, there's kind of a need to like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody has to like what we do, therefore we have to succeed. No, you just need to have enough people to like what you do in order for you to succeed.
Wow.
So like even in democratic, especially in democratic states, I mean, sometimes you just need 51% of the vote to win an election. You don't need 100% of the vote. Only like in like under Saddam Hussein, you get 100% of the votes. Nobody does. There is nowhere else that you can get 100% of the vote other than dictatorships.
Right.
So the thing is that yes, there are people who not necessarily like what we do, and we shouldn't take it personally, and that shouldn't stop us from those of us who do believe in these should support each other. Should I mean, you're supporting me, you're providing myself venue. So providing me a venue to speak. I connected each other. Just us, for example, just it's two of us, right? You help me, I help you. Like all of this kind of like genuine friendship and support is, I think, what we need as like as a whole. I think all of us who do believe, whether even the people who are watching the show, is they can. I mean, one of the things is that ideal is that they like we organize in a larger organization, but I'm more than happy to like make IBB to also be that bridge, a platform for people to care. So people can go to my website or our website, ideasbeyondborders.org. They can, if they like this interview, they can please contact me and tell me that I'm lovely and I'm a handsome man. And maybe, maybe they give me their Instagram. They can follow me on Instagram, my modeling account, so they can be impressed with my leather jacket. I see that there's a lot of organizations, HRF, us, FIRE, there are a lot of organizations that cares about these values. Yeah, I hope we will all be united. These people who are watching this show should contact me and contact us to really be visible. That for this movement to exist, all of us need to stand for something and be visible and be known and get our voices out.
It's been, I mean, I could listen to you like forever and ever, and the last past hour like felt like nothing. I think I can see why. I mean, you've been on David Rubin for like 5 times, right? You're the most frequent guest on his show. I think
Yes, I think I am. Yeah.
I mean, it's been incredible. I mean, you've been shining a light on a lot of darker issues that most mainstream media didn't cover. And what you do is, I mean, like as a freedom defenders like us, we need a lot of allies. And I think so many people on this channel, I've been getting to know average people, like not the people in the New York Times or BBC. Actually, the main just average people are way more in the center. They are not as divided as the media describes, and they actually care about everything that we just talked about. They care about truth and helping others. I think that's why I think it would be a good opportunity for them to know you and get to know you and join your movement of spreading and freedom in Middle East and around the globe virtually.
Yeah, I mean, just to add one thing to what you're saying is, I mean, I have been to 40 states in America. Like, I mean, I've been living in America and most people here are very wonderful. Like my experience,
lovely people.
Yeah, my experience in America has been. I mean, this year is it was my second Thanksgiving as an American citizen, and
wow.
I'm so like I'm always happy to like be in America and also be connected, yeah, to the average American. Like this kind of political circus is not representative of like really the majority. I think majority of people are caring, are loving, and I'm glad that you are reaching them, because these are the people who need to be reached, and I'm so glad that I'm able to reach them through your show.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can. Entire this time, I realized I agree. I agree because everything you said was so right. I cannot like agree with you more. That is like certain, like definitely a truth that everyone needs to be aware. It's an honor to have you on this show, and I cannot wait to have you back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Yeonmi.
you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. You too. Thank you.
Yeah.